Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So good to be here with you. Can't wait to get into this special episode of the Cabral Concept. I've been asked for years now to update my Tier 1 through Tier 4 nutritional supplements for overall health, wellness, and longevity. What I wanted to do is share with you my updated list as of 2026 and my reasons why for those updates. So if you are into health, wellness, longevity, high performance health, and you love hearing about nutritional supplements, this is the show for you. Dedicated to our high performance health group. If you've never heard about high performance health, you can check it out at highperformancehealth.org. You can find out more there. All right, so I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm assuming you know about nutritional supplements now. Of course, they're simply ubiquitous in the world that we live in, but they are the vitamins, the minerals, the herbs, the amino acids, the fatty acids, etc. Oftentimes that are already what our body's made up of. Some of these are exogenous, different from what we already have in our body, and some simply make up for what we might lack, especially as we age, right? I've shared with individuals before, but there's only two ways that we become unwell. The first way is that we have some type of extra in the body, too much. We call that a toxicity. Could be mold and mycotoxins, could be yeast overgrowth or parasites or H. pylori or a viral-based issues. It could be Lyme, it could be anything. That's the toxicity we need to remove. And what I've shared with many individuals is that is one of the biggest breakthroughs I had when I was studying overseas for my internships, for my doctorate degree. And what I realized that healing is often a subtractive property or principle versus an additive. In the US and West, we like to add more. But even in Europe and all the rest of the world, it is subtractive. Bioregulatory medicine from Europe, the natural, traditional naturopaths as well, all of it was subtractive and then additive. Okay, so you know that we must remove in order to heal. There's a second part though, and that's deficiencies. Deficiencies are what we have too little of. And as we get older, as we get less sleep, we're dieting more, losing weight, getting less good nutrition, fasting longer, we start to get more deficiencies. What we're talking about here today are replacing and buffering aging with replacing a lot of these deficiencies. All right, so let's dive right into it. Tier 1, I've always called them just Tier 1. People have different, levels for them. I call this Tier 1. These are essentially the essentials. The essentials mean these are items that now again, I'll give you a contraindication. So there will always be one or less individuals out of 100 who shouldn't follow things. So I'm not providing any medical advice, medical treatments, medical cures, medical diagnosis, or anything like that. But what I will say is this, is that most individuals, and we've seen now over 300,000 one-on-one appointments in our practice, run over 300,000 lab tests. These are things that almost across the board, everyone needs. All right, so what is the first one? It is a quality activated multivitamin or the daily nutritional support. Just up front, I formulate for Equilife. Equilife is all third-party tested. It's tested for bacteria, it's tested for mold, it's tested for heavy metals, it's tested for the dosage. I'm not going to say it over and over, but you can find any of these products today at stevencabral.com/shop. And I say that because you can look them up, you can look at the label, see the ingredients and the dosage, and then find your favorite functional medicine company that does third-party testing as well. Okay, so you can use any company in the world you want. I'm simply talking about the ingredients here today. And to make it easier for you to find the labels, to then choose any brand that you want, I'm going to talk about names, okay? So a good daily activated multivitamin or the daily nutritional support, which is adding essentially 15 grams of protein and fiber and other things to a multivitamin. Absolutely essential. All of these, by the way, are backed by science. I'm not going to go through every single study. You're welcome to. The show would be 2.5 hours long. But all of these have been shown to reduce rate of aging and reduce all-cause mortality, which is your chances of dying from all the top reasons. Okay, the second one is a vitamin D3 with K2. All right, now the K2 is already in a good multivitamin or the daily nutritional support, but you can get extra K2 with your vitamin D3. Most people need about 4,000 to 5,000 IUs per day as an adult. Daily omega-3 support. A good quality EPA and DHA fish oil. You want about a 2 to 2.5 to 1 ratio of EPA to DHA, and you'll find that on the back of that label. You can always look at, again, any of your favorite brands. The next one is magnesium. There are a lot of different forms of magnesium. The best absorbed are going to be a lysonate, a glycinate, a malate, a citrate. There are a few others, but those are the best ones for what magnesium is typically used for, which is calming of the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. So although you can use magnesium threonate for the brain and others, I don't find it really needed in our practice. It's a real specialty product, and most magnesium is needed to calm the sympathetic nervous system rather than just directly for the brain itself. The next two that I consider essential as you age, not in your 20s or 30s, but as you age, is melatonin, especially liquid melatonin, which will not make you groggy in the morning, right? Feeling like you have brain fog, 2.5 to 5 milligrams for most adults, and then daily digestive enzymes. As we get older, we cannot help but for our melatonin to drop by about 10% per decade production-wise. That does not come back. And for our stomach, digestion to not be as strong as we get older. So it is most essential, especially for people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So those are 6 products that I consider for most people, 40 plus, to be essential. Younger, the first 3 to 4. The multi, D3, K2, omega-3, magnesium. All right, so those are the essentials. Now I really narrowed it down. In my book, Personomics, I actually only talk about the first 3. So those, everybody. It covers so many bases. Why? Well, a good activated multi or daily nutritional support are all your B vitamins. It's all your electrolytes. It's fiber. It's 12 supplements in one, which just makes it so much easier for you. And it's not, no disrespect to an AG1 or any of those products. Those are a little bit of dosage in the powder. It's not a full activated multi. Like, it doesn't have all of the nutrients that you need step by step, scientifically proven by the body. They have so many different ingredients in there, and it's a little bit of each, right? What you want is the standard dosage, 100% of RDA for your body with your electrolytes, your detox factors, etc. Okay, so let's move on to tier 2. I call tier 2 highly recommended. So they're not the essential, especially as you age, 40 plus, but the highly recommended. All right, what is that? A good daily fruit and vegetable blend. Here's what to look for your greens powder. Forget about all the enzymes and everything that's added to it. You're not taking a daily fruit and vegetable blend for enzymes. Take it for organic fruits and vegetables, right? I know that might seem outrageous. You're not taking it for mushrooms. You're not taking it for everything else they add that's inexpensive. You want a product that is loaded with fruits and vegetables. At least a dozen, right? The daily fruit and vegetable blend has over 2 dozen. And it's all sorts of things that you won't eat on a daily basis. So for example, on a daily basis, I'm eating berries. I am eating broccoli. I'm usually eating some cauliflower. And those are guaranteed on a daily basis. But when you look at that, you say, okay, well, what about all the other vegetables and all the other fruit? This enables you to get all of those without all the sugar. So a good greens powder, or I call it a rainbow powder, fruits and vegetables, reds and greens, is a great product for your body. It's typically, you want at least 7 to 9 grams when it says per serving, and you just want it to be fruits and vegetables. Don't add all the other stuff in, which is just filler. That's what you want. So daily fruit and vegetable blend, a good daily probiotic support. Again, all of these products you can find at the website, and look at the label, purchase your favorite company. I don't want to be said that I'm just doing this to share products. Again, please choose your favorite company. All right. Oh, that's my last disclaimer. Daily probiotic support. Look for about 50 billion. Okay. That's a good amount over 1 or 2 capsules in order for you to get good probiotics in your gut. Most people benefit from that because they're not doing a lot of fermented food. Next is zinc and copper. Add anywhere from a 12 to 1 to a 15 to 1 ratio. Even a 10 to 1 would be okay. We do a 15 to 1 ratio, 15 milligrams of zinc to 1 milligram of copper. Great for the immune system, mitochondria, grain hair, energy, thyroid, and more. Hispro is my tier 2. Here's why. Didn't used to be. Now it is. It contains vitamin C, quercetin, stinging nettles, perilla fruit extract, bromelain, and more. These are amazing herbs that help with AMPK, autophagy, anti-aging, reduce mast cells, histamines, so much more. It's a great product, great for the liver, great for detoxification, great for anti-aging. All right, the next one along those lines is daily detox support. This, again, didn't used to be on this level, but here's why. We are constantly bombarded in nature itself is pure, but from man-made chemicals. When I wrote The Rain Barrel Effect, 77,000 man-made chemicals. Now, over 120 to 140,000. The World Health Organization doesn't even know how many man-made chemicals there are now. So a good product with N-acetylcysteine, taurine, and other detox factors can be excellent. Not a universal binder every day, but daily detox support. And the last one, psyllium husk fiber. This has actually always been on my list because since I've been working with people since the late 90s, it's great for satiety, helping with weight loss, blood sugar balance, blood pressure, cardiovascular, cholesterol, bowel movements. It's amazing. So 3 to 5 grams once or twice a day. Simple, straightforward. That's the tier 2 list. So now we've got essentially 6 and 6. You're at about 12 products right there. Doesn't mean you need to take them all, but those are the top ones. All right, now let's move into, again, there'll be a little bit more specialty, all right? So these are called unique anti-aging. You start to add them as needed. So, meaning like all the others can just be used by pretty much anyone. These are more unique anti-aging, but still general population. Like I'm not recommending daily thyroid support, right? That's for people who have lower thyroid. Okay, so the first one is this, extra vitamin C. So if you look at your daily nutritional support, you're getting about 400 milligrams there. Not bad. You're looking at your Hispro, you're looking at about 300 milligrams there. All right, you're already at 700 milligrams. That's a good amount, which is great, right? But in my practice, as people are getting older, for skin regeneration, for the immune system, I like people in my practice to be about 1.5 to 3 grams per day. So that's what we do. A little extra vitamin C. Nothing fancy. You can use the alkalizing vitamin C, especially if you have acid reflux. And for others, you can just use the full spectrum vitamin C, which is the food-based as well as the functional medicine form. All right, the next one is Inflammasoothe. Inflammasoothe contains turmeric, it contains ginger, it contains a lot of anti-inflammatories like Flex for the body. So great for inflammation, right? Joint pain, etc. The next one, advanced collagen support. Advanced collagen support is a key one for anyone who wants to improve their hair, skin, nails, joints. Simple, straightforward. The one we use, called Advanced Collagen Support by Equilife, has less histamines, 5 grams of protein, but it's 3 patented ingredients. And why we use that is it's easy to digest. You don't want to get all your protein from collagen. It's not even a complete protein. You're looking for collagen to do what it's supposed to do, and this is the best absorbed. That's why we use it. The next one is Cell Boost. That's a mitochondrial product that contains nicotinamide riboside, trans resveratrol, PQQ, astragalus, and other proven mitochondrial boosters. It's an amazing product. It works great. All right, next is matcha ceremonial grade organic green tea. I know it's kind of like saying coffee, but truly you can use this as a supplement because it contains EGCG and it is very powerful when it comes to anti-aging, potentially helpful for cancer prevention, etc. So great product. A little bit of caffeine, about 44 milligrams per serving of matcha. All right, astaxanthin, recently added as well. Astaxanthin, higher dose. This would be 12 milligrams. We use it in the daily vision and eye health, so I'll just talk about that product next. So as people get older, I started using it probably about 3 years ago or so now. Daily vision and eye health, it contains lutein, zeaxanthin, bilberry, so powerful antioxidants, and it contains astaxanthin. But some people want straight astaxanthin at 12 milligrams. That's the higher clinical dose. You might want to add that if you want another powerful antioxidant. It's not one that I have in my program. I use Daily Vision Eye, but it's still a great one. So I wanted to add that in there. All right, next is Advanced Cell Force. I've been using this now for over a year. I'll tell you right now, it contains creatine, trimethylglycine, citrulline malate, and taurine. Amazing products. So not just creatine. So while Cell Boost will help you build more mitochondria, Advanced Cell Force gives you more ATP, more energy. Literally is food for your mitochondria. The most overlooked product in that is the citrulline malate. Citrulline malate creates more nitric oxide in your body. Talk about energy and circulation. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like you will feel the difference when you use that product. So Advanced Cell Force on the list. talked about daily vision, eye health, CoQ10. So CoQ10 is already in Cell Boost. But if you're on a statin or you're just say 55, 60 plus, probably a good idea to use 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams of ubiquinol. That's the more downstream use of CoQ10 in the body and can be excellent. Powers the heart-based mitochondria especially. Glycine, not a product I use, but if you need relaxation at night and you believe it might help improve your overall sleep, glycine could be a great one. Couple more to go. Kyolic garlic. This is one that I debated on. I debated on it because I just didn't know if I wanted to really add it in there, right? Like if it should be in there. But it helps with blood pressure. It helps with cardiovascular. It helps with potential clots, etc. It's great for detoxification. And so many people, like 1 out of 3 people will have that. So probably a great product. The brand that I like is called Kyolic garlic. And you can get it for cardiovascular. You can get it for immune. You can get it for blood pressure. So it's like little specialty formulas. So I wanted to add that to the list. All right, 2 more to go. The next one is proteolytic enzymes. Proteolytic enzymes are at one of the top of my list. I've been using them now for a couple years now. I just know like my genetic predisposition to cardiovascular and other things. And it's just such a great product. It helps me recover better from exercise, helps with fibrin and plaque in the arteries. So great product called proteolytic enzymes. It contains nattokinase and serrapeptase. So it's the best of both worlds. One breaks down fibrin, the other inflammatory protein debris in your body. So great for inflammation as well. All right, and the last one in this category is one that was on level 4 that needs more research, but really huge believer in it now, 1,200 plus studies, and I've been using it myself now for years, and that is molecular hydrogen water. Now, you can use it in different ways, but I'm just going to talk about the water form. And here's what through my own testing, you can either drink regular filtered water, which has what's called a positive ORP. That means there's actual oxidation in that water. So there's oxidants, right? There's free radicals, essentially. Think about it that way in your water. When you use a hydrogen machine, what happens is you create more hydrogen in the water because it's splitting the H2O. It's getting rid of the oxygenated part, and it's putting more hydrogen in. So now you have a negative ORP. What happens now is that you have antioxidant water that when it goes in your body actually helps to squelch oxidative stress, which is responsible for a lot of aging, and free radical damage. So it's very powerful. It's expensive and it's an investment. We actually have a new machine that I'm going to be talking about. It's not ours, but I went out and found a company that was half the price of the company that I recommend right now. Now, the company I recommend right now is amazing. They will always be amazing. They've got 40 years of research on this. You can see it at, I think it's stephencabral.com/hydrogen or stephencabral.com/hydrogen-water. But I found a new company and they're able to do it for half the price. Amazing. So why wouldn't I want to get you the same product at half the price? I just need more time to test it out. I have my own water meters. I test everything myself before I ever give you a recommendation on the Friday review. So just stay tuned for a Friday review. Okay, let's get now to our last list. So that was all 3. The essentials, there's only 6 that I wrote. The highly recommended, 6 more. The unique anti-aging, as needed. Now, I wrote needs more research, but promising. The first one is spermidine. The second one is fisetin. The third one is calcium AKG. I'm going to be talking about these now separately just for a moment. Okay, so these 3 have the potential to help remove senolytic cells like quercetin that I talked about before in the HISPRO, but to a greater degree, especially when used, not calcium AKG, but spermidine and fisetin, especially when you're fasting. So let's say that you're doing every 12 weeks, you're doing your 7-day functional medicine detox, right? During that detox might also be a good time to use those 2 products. I look at those as cyclical, using them maybe once a month, twice a month during fasting periods, like on your Monday fast, or quarterly for a longer period of time. That's more how I would look at them. I'm not using either right now, but they're still good preliminary research on them. They seem to be safe for the most part. I haven't seen any negatives, or of course I would not share that with you. But as I said, still would like to see more research. All right. The next one is apigenin. Apigenin I like, but I haven't seen it be a game changer for a lot of people in my practice, especially for sleep. So since I don't see it being a game changer, it is not one I can really recommend for you, although I know some people seem to get benefit from it. But I would much rather give the body what it's missing, which is maybe the magnesium or the adrenal soothe, which has the L-theanine and phosphoserine and ashwagandha to lower cortisol, or just go right to the melatonin as well. All right, so that's kind of how I look at that. The next one is urolithin A. Urolithin A for mitochondria. Could be good. Here's what I am not promoting it. What I want to see are studies, kind of like Fatty 15. I want to see studies other than the company-run studies. Now, again, I'm not being a hater at all, because I will promote all of these things that or have great research on them. But I'm not going to have people spend $60, $80 a month on a product when these are tier 4, unless there's great research, outside research, right? So that's what I'd like to see. And there's no way, I have a whole podcast on fatty 15 versus omega-3s. There's no way that you should stop taking omega-3s for fatty 15, like in no way, shape, or form. It's actually an outrageous statement that was made previous. Okay, but we'll neither here nor there. The next one is pterostilbene, and this, again, could be possible to improve overall anti-aging, AMPK, antioxidant, free radicals. Could be. Need to see more research on that as well. Certainly not one of my faves. If it's in a product, okay, I'll use it, but not necessarily one that I'm going to go out and reach for. All right, peptides. Now, a lot of people say peptides are amazing. They're the best ever. Could be, right? Could be. Would still like to see more clinical research. I'm not against them. Just saying that right now. I just want to make sure we have more human clinical data. So the ones that we do have clinical data on, I'm often saying, okay, we can use these, but what's the game plan? Are you going to use them for the rest of your life? Ideally not. You're going to use them as needed to improve something based on lab testing or based on what you might be missing, right? But really important. And again, more to come on that as well. All right, let's keep going. LDN, low dose naltrexone. This can be an excellent off-label pharmaceutical that was used at one time at high dosages, and still is, for essentially addictions, drug addictions, but now is being used for certain individuals to better modulate their immune system. Over-exaggerated allergies, weak response to viruses, even being used for potential cancer support. Metformin. Again, not a product that I'm recommending in my practice and like that. I actually recommend berberine, and berberine I did not mention, but berberine should be on this list in tier 3 for sure. I would absolutely put berberine on that list in tier 3 without a doubt. Apologies, but I'm adding it on the spot. But that is my metformin alternative. 500 milligrams of berberine, 2 to 3 times a day. 2 times a day is great for most people, breakfast and dinner. For those that need a little bit extra, because they're dealing with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or high blood sugar, cholesterol, etc., they might look to 500 milligrams 3 times a day, but of course, not medical advice. All right, the next one, rapamycin. Not something I would use or recommend, because the research is some looks beneficial and some not so much. Looks pretty good in lab rats, not so much in some of the human studies that I've seen. So, not giving up on it, but would still like to see more clinical data. Stem cell therapy, I do think that this is going to be a game changer for many people for joint repair and even rejuvenation, but still would love to see more human clinical trials. I know right now, especially location-based, you have an issue with your shoulder, your knee, a joint, stem cell therapy can be absolutely fantastic. So not down on that at all. It's just, yeah, as needed. And then Yamanaka factors. It's currently in clinical trials right now. It's moved from mice to then primates to now humans. And the first studies are going on right now to see if they're able to reverse aging using Yamanaka factors. The last one I would share with you are immunotherapies. Immunotherapies, in some cases, could be peptides. And others are looking to boost your macrophages or other parts of your body that might get weaker as you get older. It's also being used in cancer support therapies, and I'll be teaching on these in about a month from now. I'm going to create a completely free cancer-based course that I want to share with the general public, and I'll be teaching about these immunotherapies and when they might be right and when they might not be quite the thing for you. So this is the list. I hope it was helpful. It was a big show, but we've been asked many times to go through all of these different nutritional supplements. Wasn't too long, and it really gives you the insights also just to how I think about them. I don't want to ever overdo nutritional supplements, so you're not using all of these on the list, but what you're doing is you're using the essential and the highly recommended, and that's your foundation. And then you ask yourself, okay, now that I'm already taking care of my essential and highly recommended, what else might I want to work on? Oh, my eyesight, I stare at a computer all day. Okay, daily vision and eye health. Okay, what's the next one I want to work on? Well, I really could use more energy. Okay, I'm going to start with maybe cell boost and then add advanced cell force on top of it, right? So that is how you're going to use this list. What I'm going to do is actually link up this list for you at stevencabral.com/3798. I can't link to any of the products. That would be illegal. But what I can do is potentially link to the PDF, and then the products could be linked from there. Why don't I do that? All right, that's at stevencabral.com/3798. Have an amazing day, everybody. Please let me know your thoughts, and of course, I'm always happy to look at any other products as well. Take care. Do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve.